Okay, let's unpack this. Today, we're diving into something pretty cool. Actually, stadium golf.
Yeah, it's this idea of taking a massive sports venue and, well, using it in a completely different way.
Exactly. And we're going to dig into it using the source material you've shared with us. We'll focus mainly on Eden Park's G9 event over in New Zealand as like our main example.
Our mission really is to understand how this whole thing started, what's special about it, and, how it grew from just one place into this bigger phenomenon.
And the basic idea sounds almost, I don't know, deceptively simple. You take a stadium, usually
Yeah.
for rugby or cricket or something,
Right, big open field.
and turn it into a golf experience. You're actually hitting golf balls from the stands down onto the pitch.
It sounds a bit wild, doesn't it? But it's a fantastic example of creative venue use, thinking outside the box.
Definitely. And engaging fans or just people in a totally new way. You're not just watching, you're doing.
You're actively playing, yeah. It's just the whole dynamic of the space.
So according to the sources, this whole thing, stadium golf as we sort of know it now, it didn't kick off in some huge American stadium or anything.
No, surprisingly not. It started right there at Eden Park. That's New Zealand's national stadium in Auckland.
And they launched it back in 2017, called it the Powerade G9.
And what's really key, based on the material, is that Eden Park didn't just host an event somebody else thought up. They actually originated the G9 format themselves.
Okay, so they developed the whole concept.
Yeah, they pioneered it and even formalized the intellectual property, the IP,
Yeah.
behind it. So they own the specific how-to for that G9 style of stadium golf.
That's significant. It shows it was more than just a fun idea. They saw it as a repeatable model.
Definitely strategic. And the origin story itself is almost funny in its simplicity.
Get this, the sources say it literally came from their general manager of turf operations, just looking out at the pitch
The field he manages.
and thinking, that would make a pretty great golf course. And then he apparently just sketched out a layout.
Agrees. Just drew it up. Sometimes the best ideas are right in front of you.
But it wasn't just a whim, was it? There was a clear business reason behind it.
Oh, absolutely. The sources stress that. It was about creatively activating the venue. How do we get more use out of this massive stadium outside of the main rugby and cricket seasons?
Right. Increase utilization. Avoid having it sit empty for long stretches. Makes total sense.
So they looked at that big green space and thought, golf.
Okay, let's talk about the G9 experience itself. What's it actually like to play? It runs for, what, 4 days?
4 days, yeah. And it's not just one start time. They run multiple sessions each day.
It sounds like quite an operation. The details mention hundreds of players daily, average of about 6 sessions.
Yeah.
So maybe 360 people playing each day.
Something like that. And then on Friday, they add a later one, like a 7:30 p.m. twilight session.
Under the lights.
Yeah, so that bumps it up to maybe 420 players kicking off their weekend there.
Wow. That's a lot of swings. Think about the number of balls flying onto that field every day.
Thousands, easily. And they even have this thing called golden balls you can buy.
Golden balls, what for?
For extra shots, basically. Maybe you duff one or you want another crack at a prize hole, that sort of thing. Adds a bit of fun.
A bit of pressure, maybe? But who gets to play? Is it just for corporate days out?
That's a really important point the sources make now. While businesses do use it, it's absolutely open to the public.
So regular folks can sign up.
Totally. It's designed for, groups of friends, families, work colleagues, just casual golfers. Anyone, really. That accessibility seems core to its appeal.
Because you're not just playing golf, you're standing where the crowds usually are
In the grandstands.
and hitting down onto the same grass where, absolute legends of sport have played. That must be, well, the sources call it a little bit surreal.
Yeah, fun, inclusive, surreal. That unique perspective, that sense of place hitting a ball there, that's a huge part of the draw.
I can imagine. And that unique appeal, that success they had with G9 at Eden Park, it started getting noticed elsewhere.
It did. It turned heads internationally. And this is where that IP thing comes back in.
Right, because they didn't just show it worked.
Exactly. They had formalized it. So Eden Park started licensing the G9 IP to other venues around the world.
So they effectively exported their model.
Pretty much. They became the pioneers and the exporters for this kind of structured stadium golf event. And that directly spurred the growth of similar things globally.
So Eden Park really established itself as a leader in, venue innovation because of this.
Yeah, and fan engagement, too. It showed stadiums could be more dynamic, more than just places you go to watch.
It became this sort of uniquely Kiwi event that as the sources say, helps keep the stadium humming year-round,
Mm.
finding revenue and buzz outside the usual sports calendar.
And it's been pretty consistent, too. It ran every year since 2017.
Right.
Well, with just one exception.
Ah, okay. What happened?
It didn't run in 2024, but not because people lost interest or anything like that.
No.
No, quite the opposite, it seems. 2024 was just an absolutely massive, jam-packed year for Eden Park.
Oh, really? Like what?
Well, the sources list back-to-back sold-out concerts, P&K, Coldplay, Travis Scott. Huge names.
Wow, okay.
Plus, they hosted the world's largest haka, and their local rugby teams, the Blues and Blues Opiki, both won championships there. The place was just nonstop booked.
So G9 basically got squeezed out by too much other high-profile stuff happening.
Essentially, yeah. A good problem to have, I suppose, but it meant taking a one-year pause for G9.
But it's coming back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Scheduled for 2025. And the way it's described is recharged, refreshed, and more in demand than ever.
Interesting. So the year off might have actually, boosted anticipation for it.
It seems that way. It suggests the event really has carved out a popular niche for itself.
So let's wrap this up a bit. We've gone from, literally, a sketch on a piece of paper
It's a simple observation.
and a bold idea to rethink a space, and now the G9 at Eden Park is this established local favorite, but also something that's influenced venue thinking globally.
It really is a prime example of redefining what a stadium can be. Not just a passive viewing space, but an active experience zone, using its history and layout creatively.
And thinking about why this matters for you listening, even if you never plan to hit a golf ball in a stadium,
Right.
it's about that power of rethinking the familiar. Seeing potential in spaces you use or see all the time, how a simple combination of existing things, a place and an activity, can create something new, engaging, and accessible.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? It poses a question maybe for you to consider. What other traditional venues, or maybe even just public spaces you encounter every day, could be reimagined?
Yeah, what could you transform for totally new kinds of activities or experiences just by looking at it a bit differently? What simple combinations are maybe waiting out there to be, well, sketched out?